So, you watched my Rappa guide. You know how she works? She's out here breaking shields, riding her surfboard, rapping, and generally speaking making a mess of the battlefield. But now the real question is, do you need her Eidolons? Or should you save your Stellar Jades for something more, let's say, pressing? Like Sunday or Tingyun or maybe your actual rent. Let us start by talking about Eidolon 1. When Rappa enters her seal form, her damage ignores 15% of your enemy's defense rating. That is right, forget all that tough guy armor, Rappa is not impressed. On top of that, when she's done using her seal form or her ultimate seal form is her ultimate for those who haven't watched my guide, she just casually picks up 20 energy. Why? Because she can. This basically means more ultimates, faster cycling of your seal form and less downtime. If you like seeing Rappa surfing through your enemies on repeat, Eidolon 1 is where things start to get fun. Eidolon 2 adds a nice little touch to your enhanced basic attack. The first 2 hits now reduce toughness by an extra 50% on your main target only. Basically, if your enemy's shields weren't already feeling fragile, this makes sure they absolutely shatter. And since breaking toughness is Rappa's whole thing, this upgrade feels more like common sense than anything else. It's not flashy, but if you enjoy breaking enemies faster, which, let's be honest, who doesn't, this one is for you. Now her third Eidolon is fairly straightforward. It just boosts your skill and talent level. More levels, more damage, and less enemies standing around to ask why they are even here. Nothing too exciting, but useful if you are looking to maximize her output. And then we've got Eidolon 4. And here it gets a little bit weird. While Rappa is in a seal form, your whole team gets a 12% speed boost. However, I would say Eidolon 4 is the weakest Eidolon for Rappa. Why? Super simple, speed boosts are nice to have, but you are most likely not going to adjust your whole speed tuning around Eidolon 4. So yeah, Eidolon 4 is most likely not going to help you when it comes to hitting new speed caps. Eidolon 5 is another level upgrade, this time for her ultimate and her enhanced basic attack. Again, it is more damage, more break effect, more of what you kinda want to see on Rappa. Nothing too fancy, but it gets the job done. If you're already committed to higher Eidolons, it is a decent bump. Now Eidolon 6. This is where it gets crazy. At the start of combat, Rappa will gain 5 points of charge. If you haven't watched my guide, you might be wondering, what is charge? Super simple, each stack of charge is going to increase your break effect damage by 50%. You can have up to 10 of them without Eidolon 6, but if you have Eidolon 6, you can have 15. That effectively means a 750% increase to your break effect damage. On top of that, right, besides gaining charge points and increasing your charge stack count level, whatever you want to call it, you also restore 5 charge points whenever you use your last attack for your enhanced basic attack. Right, so her enhanced basic attack has 3 steps. The first 2 will do some damage. The third one is going to use up your charge points. But instead of using them up, you are now going to gain 5 points. That does not mean though, super important here, that you will no longer use them up. If you have, let's say, 5 enemies on the field and their weakness broken, you're going to use 1 point for every single opponent you attack, so you lose 5 points in total. But Eidolon 6 allows you to also restore 5 points whenever you use the last step of your enhanced basic attack, so it kinda equals out. Super important to note here is this is only for 5 enemies. If you're fighting less, you effectively restore more points than you use them up. But the question is, should you pull for her Eidolons? If you're aiming for that sweet break effect damage, then Eidolon 1 and Eidolon 2 are the ones to consider. Eidolon 6 is fairly powerful, don't get me wrong, but getting there either requires a lot of investment or a lot of luck on your side if you're free to play. Eidolon 1 will give you more energy, which effectively means more ultimates, and if you're lucky enough, you can even chain ultimate after ultimate after ultimate. And Eidolon 2 will effectively increase your break effect efficiency and damage and all of that stuff, which will allow you to do more overall damage. Here's the problem though. If you're strapped for Stellar Jades, you might want to consider focusing on her light cone. Her light cone gives you a consistent damage buff without needing to pray to our gacha gods for duplicates. If you're not going all the way to Eidolon 6, grabbing her light cone and calling it a day is a fairly decent option. However, overall I would say you don't need her Eidolons and you also don't need her light cone, as you have some decent options for her in the form of Eternal Cakeless if you're free to play, or Shamani Fall if you are if you're free to play or a low budget spender. But if you like her design or if you don't have Firefly, then go for it, man. She's a good DPS character and by no means should you believe all the hate she's currently receiving over on Twitter or from some of the other content creators. She can absolutely shred her way through any type of endgame activity, and at the very end of the day, that is all that matters. If the video was helpful, leave a like, a comment, a sub, all of that stuff. I also released a guide for Rappa, like one video before this one, so if you have no idea how to play her, how to build her, what characters to use in combination with her, then you can watch that as well. I will leave a link to it at the very end of the video. Thanks for watching, have a great one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.